G'day there, it's Dave here, Dave Mills, and I'm going to be talking to you about the closed centre, and it's such a rich field of study, and so let's just have a look at the French defence for black. It's a closed position. Now, when the centre is closed, you will attack on the flank. Okay? So when the centre is closed, you will attack on a flank. Perhaps on the flank where there's the king. Now, we can actually see here that white has more space. If you remember what I said, the first rule of the closed centre is it's the opposite of the open centre. You want to play with your pawns. Rule number one, you want to attack with your pawns. You want to make pawn moves. Okay, so a wonderful thing about this position is we have both sides have some attacks by pawns on the structure. So black has this idea and white has this idea, striking at the center. Okay, also this pawn could obviously support the structure. Okay, but you want to attack when the center is closed and controlled. You want to attack down the flank with your pawns. Okay, and so even if your king is castled that side and their king is castled that side, that's okay. Your king can advance, your heavies can get behind your pawns, and you can play quite aggressively with your king in the middle of the game. And so you're able to, rule 2 is launch your pawns towards their king. Alright? And don't be afraid of your king having to advance down the board and be a part of it. Okay? Don't be as afraid of king safety when the center's closed and controlled. Also, we can see that the board is divided into sides. You know, the queen side and the king side. And we can see how it's quite locked down. Now, black's idea is to play aggressively on the queen side with its pawns. So you often get situations where black has stormed down. You often get situations where this bishop can spring to life. Now, we know in black's position this dark square bishop is the power piece, but even trading that away to ruin their structure when they respond with the knight, ruining their structure can be a good trade-off because it can accelerate your attack on their queen side, and the center can erode, and you can switch to attacking this pawn as well. So, and we can see how the pressure for black can mount against this structure. Okay? And so play on the queen side is very, very strong for black. But also for white, there can be quite a bit of play on the king side. And it can get very ugly, and it can be very overwhelming. This advanced pawn can be your death. So you don't want to sort of rush over and castle into where they were going to attack. So for white in this position, you don't want to castle queenside as much, and for black it's the opposite. You want to be very careful about it. Okay, so what we actually see here is a closed center. You will attack on the flank. You will play with your pawns, and you will choose the flank where you have the most space. So for black, it's the queen side, and for white, it's the king's side. The space can tell you which side to attack. Remember, when you're making a plan, when you're making a plan, you need to choose where you're going to attack, the center or one of the flanks. And that determines whether the center is open or shut, like a valve of the heart. The pieces flow like the heart. And there's 4 chambers in the heart, and there's 4 areas in 4 quadrants in the chessboard. Okay? 4 by 4 is 16, so there's 16 squares a quadrant. And then there's also the hidden quadrant. The hidden quadrant is in the center. You've got the center squares and the subcenter squares. So if you